This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Fort Lupton, Colorado. I am here at Holy Strombolli. Since 2010, they have provided old-fashioned hospitality with handmade food and some great local drinks in a historic environment. I am here with Melissa, who is the owner. It's a great place, Melissa. I love the place when I walked in. This is where the energy of Fort Lupton is, obviously. Let's go back a little bit. Before 2010, you opened the doors. 2007, this idea came about. You guys sat down, you wanted to provide a place where people, really where Coloradans can connect. And that's what happens right here. Only family and friends knew that idea. They're the ones that helped you basically launch this, put it together. Let's go back and share with me how this passion got started for you.
I was a little girl. I lived in New Jersey. In New Jersey, you eat three things. You either eat deli, Italian, or Chinese food. We eat Italian all the time. And you know, people always ask me, "You're Italian, where are you from?" No, I'm Jewish. So we'll just come out with that right now. My mom always made Strombolli when I was a kid, and I used to tell her, "Ma, you ought to sell these things." And she would say, "You know, it's just something I do for our family. You know, that won't work. Nobody's going to buy Strombolli." So it was really a passion. It just burned inside of me my whole life. And so when I became an adult, anytime I had the opportunity to make Strombolli and entertain my friends with Strombolli, stick different things in them, I would. Eric, my husband, and I at the time had only been married a short time, maybe 3 years. And I kept saying to him, "I want to open this restaurant. I have this idea." And I was working in corporate America, and I really didn't enjoy it. I wanted to make a difference in the world, you know, and I didn't know that food was going to make such an impact on people, but it, you know, it does. So finally, you know, I got laid off for the last time, and he said, "If you want to do this Strombolli thing, you should do it." And so he backed me 110%. We gutted this 106-year-old building, and here we are.
And here it is, the rest is history, as they say. Before we talk about what folks are able to find here inside of this location, let's talk a little bit about the location. And we're talking about an antique here, over 100 years of history. Was it important for you to try to preserve some of that history and let some of the spirits stay alive here, if you will?
As in many cases, this whole building was not taken care of. So a lot of the historic elements were covered up. There was drywall over the brick. The old tin ceilings were covered up with a drop ceiling. It was painstakingly hard work, and there was a lot of love that went into it. We did it ourselves. I repointed and tucked this brick. I laid tile. Everything that you see here is either original or as close to original as we could get.
That is fantastic. Obviously, it's a historic environment, but really it's the atmosphere that brings people back, a place where they can get together with their friends and family. Would you say that some of your success definitely has to go with your staff? We're talking about hardworking, friendly folks that are here really to serve.
I am so blessed. You know, we don't hire for experience, we hire for personality. When you come here, you want to be treated like family. And that's the backbone of our business, is really how our employees and our team engage with our guests. And I ask them just to be real. Don't be a stuffed shirt. Don't, you know, just really treat them like you want to be treated when you dine out. Whether singing happy birthday to our guests every time they come in for their birthdays, or just that warm smile and recommending somebody, you're recognizing somebody, sorry. It's just moving, and they're really part of our family, and I can't speak to our culture enough. They lift each other up, they lift us up, and they make everything that we do worthwhile.
That is excellent. I love how the staff basically comes together as a team, a family, to really make this a hot spot here in Fort Lupton. Let's talk a little bit about, we both can agree that we love to connect, if you will, over a glass of beer. Definitely a micro brewery, micro beer. Tell me what you got on the back bar there, or in the bottles, that basically is nice for the Coloradans here.
We only do business with microbrews on tap. Right now we've got a couple or three really great beers, and actually Fort Lupton has its own brewery for the first time in history. Yes, and so we're striking up a deal with them. They're actually going to do a beer specifically for us. So we're so excited about that partnership. No dig to, you know, the big guys, but we're little and we like to do business with people just like us. So whenever we have that opportunity, we just bring on the newcomer, and it's been great for us because this is how I feel about it. You come here for an experience. And there are certain things that you can get on your couch in your house, and there's some things you can't, and it's my job to bring that to you.
That is exciting. Let me ask you, as far as beer goes, a guy would say beer pairs with everything on the menu, but when I look at the menu, you really can't have an Italian menu unless you have some great wine to go with it as well. Tell me why wine is something that is definitely part of the mix here.
Again, it comes down to the experience. We always want to be different. You can always get your Pinot and your Cab and your Merlot, but we're bringing Montepulciano and we're bringing beautiful, we're bringing on a Valpolicella and all these beautiful wines that you don't necessarily know about, but that are so beautiful and full-bodied, and the families that produce these wines have the same passion that we do. So that's why it's so important to have such a diverse wine menu.
Well, it's kind of cool that your husband got behind you at an early stage of the marriage there and went after the passion with you. Did both of you grow up enjoying some great Italian food? And are some of these recipes obviously new recipes, but were some handed down? Like you said, your mom made a great recipe as well. Share with me a little bit about the recipes.
Well, some of the recipes are my mom's, the meatballs, the marinara, the lasagna, and some are mine. The funny story about Eric and Italian food is that he's from Kansas, so there's not a whole lot of Italian food there. And I kept saying to him, we can't have pizza at our restaurant because we're an East Coast eatery, and you can't make New York pizza outside of New York. And he's like, what are you talking about? How can New York pizza be that great? Well, I took him. And we went from pizzeria to pizzeria. And by the time we left, he said, we have to do New York pizza in our restaurant. And I said, no, we can't, because you're not going to be able to recreate it, and I don't want to. If we can't do it well, don't do it. So he set out to prove me wrong. He loves a challenge. So a book this thick and 3 years of research and development, he finally comes to me with this dough recipe. And we were making dough in our house, and we had a 3-door cooler in our garage, and it was like a lab because he loves science. So it was this lab of all these various ages of dough. And he comes to me and he says, I did it. I nailed it. And I'm like, no, you didn't. There's no way. Well, he did. So long story short, we've got a beautiful brick oven back there, typical New York style, and we do 20-inch New York pizzas, and they're our pride and joy.
When I look at this menu here, I can't help but say, holy Strombolli. I mean, you guys have something for everybody. Let's start off, first of all, with the starters here, if you will. I see things like nachos, queso, garlic nuts, wings, boli bites. I mean, what's a good one for people to start with if they've never been in before?
So if you've never been in before, we're going to start you off with our garlic nuts. They are the house appetizer. And to celebrate your first time, we're going to treat you. So after that, after the garlic nuts, the Italian nachos are really unique because it's a pasta chip, so it's not a tortilla chip. And I feel like if you're going to do something, don't just do it so you can have it on the menu, but do it right. So they really are Italian nachos with our spicy Alfredo sauce and sausage and pasta chips, and they're just really over the top. I really love them.
That is so good. Speaking of fresh, let's talk a little bit about the salads. I see the traditional Caesar salad, but I see Cobb salad. I see a Spanish Harlem chicken. I mean, these are more than just side salads. These can be complete meals, really.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to do it right. That's my honest belief, right? We're a small town, and we knew that we needed people to come here more than one day a week. And the lunch crowd really wanted a place where they could have a nice meal. So we decided to have nice, hearty meal salads so that if you wanted something on the lighter side, you were still going to get full, but that it was tasty. And so that's why we've got such nice salads.
Thank goodness that Eric actually perfected the pizzas in the back room, because we wouldn't be able to talk about pizzas. And to me, I gotta have pizza, but you're right. I've been to Manhattan, I've been to New York, New Jersey, and there is such a big difference when you're around there, around Hell's Kitchen. Obviously, Ryan's pretty happy you guys did pizza. What's Ryan's favorite? Tell me about the 3 R's, and it sounds like it's a staff favorite.
Ryan, my host, Ryan?
Yes, yeah. What is a 3R pizza? What is that?
The R pie.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So the R pie, the story behind that is that was my daughter's nickname growing up. Her name is Ryan as well, and my son called her R pie. Well, her favorite pizza was marinara, pepperoni, ricotta, black olives, and bacon. And so she would tell the cooks, I want the R pie. And it became a hit. People started eating it, so we named it after her and put it on the menu. And that's how that came about.
You guys have some great sandwiches on there, some pasta as well. It's exciting for you to be able to see the locals obviously come here more than once, hopefully a week, but it's exciting to see some new people come here, traveling in. I see people that come across the miles just to have something a little bit different. Kind of nice for you, I imagine.
It's amazing. You know, whenever people drive to your restaurant, they want you to know how far they drove. And consistently, there are people driving from Elizabeth to come here. And what warms my heart about that is I know how many doors they pass to get to ours. And that just tells me we're doing something right, that my team is treating people right, and our food is good. And the whole reason that we set out to do this is really holding true.
That is great. I mean, we came all the way from Parker, all the way down here because the menu is beautiful. I mean, it gets me hungry just looking at it. I can't cover everything on the menu, but before I let you go, we have to talk about Strombolli a little bit more. For people out there maybe never even tried Strombolli, I was kind of surprised to find out that the origination is not in Italy, but here in the United States. And we're talking back in the maybe 1950s, something like that. Is it a favorite, and do people get introduced to it here maybe for the first time?
Absolutely, yes. People, you know, there are so many people that ask me, what is a Strombolli? And, you know, we have to explain that daily. And I think that's pretty cool that a neighborhood, a community that didn't know what this was has embraced it. Strombollis did start in Pennsylvania. That's where they got their start. And they've just become such a part of yeah.
I mean, it's really who you are. It's not only a name, but it also becomes a place where people talk about that food, be it the Bolli Bites or complete Strombolli. This was something that was an idea that like back in 2007, it was an idea, but really it was a passion that was burning inside you for years. You left corporate America and you decided to venture out. Now I would imagine you probably have a lot more friends than you do or did back in 2007. Is this rewarding for you to basically turn everybody into family here in Fort Lupton?
Sometimes I work on the line with the guys, and I tell them, look out in that restaurant. Do you see all those people? They're here because of what you're doing. They're here because of what we're doing every day. And there isn't anything more rewarding in the world than that, to live your passion, to first of all be able to live your passion, and two, to see the changes that it can make, not just inside your restaurant, but outside your restaurant. Community is huge to us. And so everything that we do here, we take outside the restaurant and give back to the community. And those are the unintended consequences of opening this restaurant. I never saw that coming. And yet it's now a part of me.
That is so nice. All the way from a Manhattan dream here to Colorado, in a place that you didn't even think pizza was possible. Right here, you made it possible here. Melissa, let me ask this. I mean, you say you work on the line sometimes back there. It takes a multiple variety of chefs really to pull this off. We're talking about a very extensive menu. What about people that have specialty needs out there? Gluten-free, is that something you can find here as well?
Yes. You know, it really became a mission for me. About a year into the restaurant, I really developed a sensitivity to gluten. And it just came about because I was eating it all the time. And so I decided to go gluten-free for a year. It was the most miserable year of my life because really I went to restaurants and my options were, well, I can have a hamburger without a bun, or maybe I could have a salad. But there wasn't anything exciting. And I knew my goal was to feed people, right? Make people happy with my food. And that means everybody. So now we've got appetizer all the way through dessert, gluten-free. You can get a gluten-free Strombolli. You can get a gluten-free calzone. The exciting thing for me is that when I walk up to somebody who's got a green plate, because that's our signature for gluten-free items, and I see them and I say, when's the last time you had a Strombolli? And they're so happy. It touches them. Food touches us in a way that's so personal. And that just makes it even better for me.
So really, it was a personal journey almost, where you went out, you couldn't find what you needed, and you created it right here. Not only great food, but we're talking about wine and beer, but it's a full-on bar. Is that a full-service bar? I see some frozen drinks on there as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we really believe in craft. You know, handmade cocktails made the right way. So we've got old fashions that are made the right way with the large block ice cube, a great whiskey selection. We also make Manhattans the old-fashioned way. We're very old-fashioned around here. I believe in the way we used to be, the way we used to treat people, the way we used to feed people, the way we have a leisurely experience and they're not rushed. So yes, maybe the old-fashioned here takes a little bit longer than down the street, but it's made right.
But it's made right, it's done right, because like you said, if you're going to do something, let's do it right. This has to be a great place for people to not only have a business meeting, a family gathering. What about people who want to actually rent out a portion of the place? Is that a possibility as well?
I do have a speakeasy in the basement. Yes, we finished that out about 5 years ago.
So the speakeasy is almost a separate area, so you've got a private area down there if people want to rent it for maybe a party or something.
Yes, yep.
Excellent. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, first of all, take a look at a little history of this organization that began in 2010. They opened the doors here, 106-year-old building. Great place to come in and check out Fort Lupton. Not only serving the locals, but people that are driving, like you say, all the way from Elizabeth, South Denver, coming on in here and taking a look at a menu that you're bound to find something that you love on there as well. Check them out on Facebook to let you know of any specials they have, as well as some of the local breweries that they're teaming up with. It's a great place to come in and really feel like family. Once again, that is Holy Strombolli, right here in Fort Lupton, Colorado. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.